of the Maharashtra political crisis, let us not forget about the story of actor Ketaki Chitale. I'm Barkha and you're with the Mojo story. Let's take you through what happened in that case that should have attracted a lot more national outrage than it did. Actor Ketaki Chitale was arrested after she shared a Facebook post that seemed to be about NCP leader Sharad Pawar. The post seemed to refer to Mr. Pawar by age and also made a reference to what appeared to be his ailments and his illnesses. But Ms Chitale, after a spate of complaints by NCP workers across the state, was sent to jail where she spent more than 40 days. She has finally walked out on bail after the court made the argument that proper procedures were not followed. There has been, of course, a clear overreach of state power, irrespective of what your opinion is about the post that Ms Chitale shared. She can be accused of sharing something that wasn't tasteful, but how could she have been sent to more than 40 days in prison? Well, Ketaki is out now. As we said, she walked out of jail and she's here to tell her story in her own words, along with her advocate who represented her. So let me introduce our guest. There you can see Yogesh Deshpande, who is the advocate in this case. And let's also welcome to the program Ms Ketaki Chitale, a well-known actor. Thank you, धन्यवाद, नमस्कार to both of you. केतकी आपसे शुरू करती हूँ, फिर लीगल पॉइंट्स पे योगेश जी के पास आऊंगी. पहले तो व्हाट आर योर फर्स्ट फीलिंग्स? आपने कभी शायद सोचा नहीं होगा कि एक फेसबुक पोस्ट शेयर करने के लिए आपको जेल में टाइम स्पेंड करना पड़े. सो व्हाट आर योर फर्स्ट थॉट्स आज?
I don't think anyone expects that, you know, एक copy paste करने से कोई prison में जा सकता है. So, of course, it was a shock for me when the police just rang my bell and they just took me away.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sure it was a total shock. But how did you manage to keep your strength inside the jail?
Once I was taken into custody, it took me a while, of course, like I didn't know what was happening around me. So, हर किसी पेपर पे आके साइन ले रहे थे, फटाफट से साइन ले रहे थे, पढ़ने के लिए टाइम नहीं दे रहे थे, मैं किस पे साइन कर रही हूँ मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा था. बट बाद में जब पुलिस कस्टडी में रखा तभी आई वाज लाइक ठीक है, now I have to face this, so I have to be brave. I cannot, you know, actually you were my inspiration. I mean, yeah, the way you were so brave during Kargil. I was in school at that point of time, but the way you were there, yes, I mean, on the front line. So I was like, if a female can be on the front line during a war, then yes, I like, you know, you were one of the inspirations along with many other females.
Thank you so much for that, Ketaki. I'm glad. Thank you. But let me ask you about, and I'm glad you were able to keep your courage, and I'm humbled that you thought of me at this time. Thank you so much. But let me ask you before I come to Yogesh ji, the post itself, when you were sharing the post, you know, and people have said that the post was in bad taste, it referred to a character called Pawara. There isn't actually Sharad Pawar का नाम नहीं है, उसमें एक poem के form पे, and वो आपकी अपनी लेख नहीं थी, एक पवारा नाम के character का reference आता है, और वो भी 80 साल के हैं, and there's some reference to his ailments like saliva dripping and so on. You know, of course, there's no question कि इसके लिए jail बिल्कुल ही हरगिज नहीं होनी चाहिए थी. It's a complete overreach. But how do you look back at that post जो आपने जैसे कहा कि copy paste करके आपने share किया?
I'm like, how do I look back is how unlawfully I was taken into custody, arrested, and that is how I look back when I think about that post. That's all that I think about. Nothing else. I see how, you know, कि किसी को आप ऐसे उठा के बिना नोटिफिकेशन, बिना किसी स्टेटमेंट के कोई आपको उठा के लेके जाता है, ये हमारे हिंदुस्तान में कैसे हो सकता है? That is all that I can look back when it comes to that
Absolutely.
post and nothing
It,
else.
it's a complete overreach of state power. ये तो मैं बिल्कुल आपसे सहमत हूँ. Yogesh ji, let me bring you in now. The court has, of course, also made the argument that proper procedure was not followed when Ketaki was arrested. As a lawyer, what did you focus on? Because there was also harassment. There were multiple complaints. There wasn't just one FIR. There were at least 30 such complaints. You know, which makes the process of a complaint the punishment. Yogesh ji.
Yes, there can be a punishment for the multiple FIRs. That is naturally. For single cause of action, how can you book a same person for a same cause of action in a multiple places? That is unnatural and unconstitutional too. You cannot punish that person multiple times for a single cause of action. And there we can see in this case a complete violation of process of law or abuse of process of law, because they have registered multiple FIR. That is one thing, without notice. This is which is mandatory for under the section 41A. You have to give the notice to the person and give proper time for what is going on. They registered FIR in the 12 in the midnight on 13th of May, and on the 14th at 3:30 they took her from her home, and they took her to the Kalambali police station, and at 4:15 16:15 the police arrested her. So they haven't given a proper time, they haven't served a notice. So what section 41A explains that in the judgment of Arnesh Kumar, if somebody arrests without notice, then the first duty of a magistrate, that person is immediately released. Immediately released on a PR bond. That is first duty of. But here we can see in this case, interesting part is that instead of releasing her, magistrate remanded her custody, 5 days custody, and then rejected her bail plea too. How can he can do such things? And we pointed out to the magistrate. Then magistrate said that yeah, I have justified that arrest. Justified? What is justified? Did they follow procedure? No, they haven't followed procedure.
And you, as we just saw in those pictures, and we'll play them again, Yogesh ji, you had to take a memorandum to the governor, and you know also there was some amount of support for Ketaki on social media. But where were you facing the challenges, Yogesh ji?
Yes, everywhere, because 22 FIR, not a single FIR, 22 FIR for this. Is she terrorist? पर terrorist पे भी इतने FIR नहीं होते हैं कि सिंगल कॉज ऑफ एक्शन के लिए एक फॉरवर्डेड पोस्ट, और उसमें भी ऐसा है कि एक फॉरवर्डेड पोस्ट पे आपने इतने FIR बुक किए, चलो ठीक है, पर जब आपने उसको कस्टडी में लिया और हैंड ओवर कर रहे थे थाने पुलिस को, so that time she was beaten by the group of NCP workers. They attacked her, they beaten her, they thrown eggs on her, put that ink on her. और इसकी कंप्लेन आज तक नहीं हुई है. पुलिस ने इसमें एक नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस रजिस्टर किया है. नॉन कॉग्निजेबल मतलब आप किसी को पीटोगे, मारोगे, उसको मोलेस्ट करोगे तो उसमें नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस रजिस्टर करोगे, और एक फॉरवर्डेड पोस्ट आप फेसबुक पे डालोगे तो उस पर आप कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस रजिस्टर करोगे, और वो भी नॉन कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस सेक्शंस के साथ आप कॉग्निजेबल ऑफेंस बना के उसको अंदर कर दोगे.
I'm glad you flagged the point of the 22 FIRs, because as I said, sometimes the very process is the punishment. But Ketaki, if you can talk about that time when the mob of NCP workers came for you, and you know, what did you experience at that time? Was it fear? Was it anger? Were you overwhelmed? अगर उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा बात करें.
Actually, to be completely honest, even the police didn't know. Like, we were just walking, they had arrested me. I was, anyway, as I said, I was confused. I was just signing on papers, and anyway, I was confused at that point of time. And मुझे नहीं पता था कि मुझे थाना लेके जाने वाले हैं. तो बाद में जब हम निकले, they said कि हम आपको थाना लेके जा रहे हैं. And I was like, okay. I mean, I didn't have a say. I didn't know anything. at that point of time. और हम निकल रहे थे, और बात कर रही थी मैं एक वुमेन कांस्टेबल के साथ, और यहाँ से मुझे खींचा गया और हाय हाय सुनाई देने लगी. So before I could register in my mind as to what is happening, there were punches being thrown at me, there were eggs being thrown at me. वो काली स्याही वो कह रहा है, but it was color. I know it was color because it was that toxic color which gives you rashes. That harmful color, black color was thrown. And when I was walking towards the police car, the only thing that I remember specifically was that I was punched on my right breast, and किसी ने मेरे पैर में पैर डाल दिया और मैं अंदर गिर गई. And the police were trying to safeguard me. तो उसमें मैं फंस गई थी जीप में. So all, like, you know, so the police just picked
Chaos.
up my feet. Yeah, that there was just chaos everywhere. I didn't see who they were. I didn't know the faces. I didn't know anything till Advocate Yogesh ji came and told me that XY, like, I'm sure he will take the names of the people who molested me, who hit me. तब तक मुझे तो कुछ पता ही नहीं था कि मुझे मार रहे हैं. मुझे खाली इतना पता चला कि मेरे पैर में किसी ने पैर डाल दिया है. मुझे समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कोई पंच कर रहा है या नहीं.
Gee, and that must have been absolutely harrowing. Yogesh ji, are you planning to follow this up legally? You have filed a complaint. Are you planning to follow it up legally? And also, let's remember that there is still, Ketaki is out on bail, which means that this case can still drag on, can still go on. It means multiple hearings and so on.
Yes.
The ordeal is not over for her, Yogesh.
Yes. Still 21 FIRs are pending against her.
21
एक में बेल मिला है. 21 FIR अभी पेंडिंग है. मतलब
क्या इसका मतलब she can be arrested again?
Yes. If they think so, then she can get arrested any point of time. 21 FIR पेंडिंग है. अभी तक पुलिस ने कोई भी FIR क्लोज नहीं किया है. मतलब ये हमने मल्टीपल नोटिसेस भेजे हैं, पुलिस को नोटिस भेजे हैं, कोर्ट में क्वेश्चन के लिए पिटीशन दायर की है, गवर्नर को लेटर सौंपा है कि इसमें फेयर इन्वेस्टिगेशन हो. एनसीडब्ल्यू ने, नेशनल वुमेन्स कमीशन ने इनको समन भी किया था इंक्वायरी के लिए. इनकी इंक्वायरी भी हुई है. बट डिस्पाइट ऑफ ऑल दिस थिंग्स, अभी तक पुलिस ने किसी भी इसमें क्लोजर रिपोर्ट नहीं फाइल किया है. मतलब पुलिस इज प्लानिंग टू अरेस्ट हर अगेन. What is this? This is just a mockery of judiciary, we can say, because ये maintainable नहीं है. Everybody knows that this is not maintainable, but still to please their bosses, political bosses जो भी है सबके पीछे, मतलब जिसका नाम भी नहीं लिया गया था इस पोस्ट में, उनको जबरदस्ती खींच के. और इसमें हम ये देख सकते हैं कि FIR फाइल किसने की है, इसका कंप्लेनेंट कौन है. अभी सेक्शन में जाता हूं इसमें कि 500 डिफामेशन के सेक्शन है जो नॉन कॉग्निजेबल है. नॉन कॉग्निजेबल में पुलिस ने यहाँ पे FIR कैसे क्या रजिस्टर करके लिया. इसमें प्रोसीजर ये होती है कि जिसका डिफामेशन होता है उसने एक प्राइवेट कंप्लेंट फाइल करनी होती है और डिफामेशन का सूट चलता है कोर्ट में. आज भी जो शरद पवार को, इनका कहना है कि शरद पवार है, तो शरद पवार का इसमें तो कुछ कहना है ही नहीं. उन्होंने तो क्लियर किया कि आई डोंट नो हु इज केतकी, मुझे पता नहीं है. तो फिर हु इज दिस कंप्लेनेंट्स आर, ये कौन है ये स्वप्निल नेटके, उसका तो कहीं पे नाम नहीं है. तो पुलिस ने उसको पूछा नहीं कि यार तू डिफेम कैसे हुआ भाई, कि ये यहाँ पे तेरा नाम नहीं है. मतलब कि उसने कहा कि नहीं मैं तो ये एनसीपी का वर्कर हूँ, ऑफिस बेरर हूँ, और शरद पवार को साहब को डिफेम किया है. शरद पवार इज नॉट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोस्ट. सिर्फ और सिर्फ प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया, सीएम ऑफ स्टेट एंड PM, इन्हीं के बारे में अगर कुछ आप आपत्तिजनक कहोगे तो उसके लिए कंप्लेंट फाइल की जाती है एडवोकेट जनरल और अटॉर्नी जनरल से. बाकी किसी के बिहाफ आप कंप्लेंट फाइल नहीं कर सकते हो. यहाँ पे प्राइवेट कंप्लेंट ही होनी चाहिए थी.
Why do you think Ketaki was targeted
यहाँ पे
in this
प्राइवेट
way?
कंप्लेंट होने के,
why do you think she was targeted in this way? Yogesh ji? क्योंकि आपसे पूछती हूं मैं ये द फैक्ट इज कि जैसे योगेश जी ने समझाया 21 एफआईआर अभी पेंडिंग हैं. योर ऑर्डियल इज नॉट ओवर. यू कुड बी टेक्निकली अरेस्टेड अगेन, दो होपफुली आफ्टर द पब्लिक आउटक्राई दैट विल नॉट हैपन. These are the pictures of you walking out smiling. I'm sure inside jail you were not smiling every day. Like you said, you tried to be tough. You had seen other tough women. Thank you again for the compliment. But are you now worried? Are you now scared? How did this time in jail change you as a person?
It has changed my entire perspective towards looking at the world that we take for granted. For example, it is as simple as, what do I want to eat? My bed. We take it for granted that I can sleep anytime I want. If I want to eat something, I can just order it. It's as simple as kapde sukhane ke liye, we have our drying area. Utna bhi you don't get it in prison. You have to struggle for each and everything. The women there. So I started teaching in prison because idle mind is a devil's workshop. Plus, there are women inside who are trying to complete their college education, their graduation. So the superintendent asked me whether I would like to teach them, and I obviously said yes because I come from a teaching family. So, and I used to teach as well when I was in college. So I was teaching there. I learned Spanish, a little bit of it.
Inside prison?
Inside prison, because there is a female there inside who is from Venezuela, and there is another female who is from Bolivia, and there is one from Brazil. So they were teaching me Spanish. So yeah.
Well, not that you should go to prison to learn languages. Yogesh ji, I was asking you, why do you think that Ketaki has been targeted in the way that she has with so many multiple FIRs? Question one. And question two, do you see this as a free speech issue? Or as you know as a lawyer, free speech is of course restricted. There are reasonable restrictions on free speech. And how do you see this whole debate? जो लोग कहते हैं कि भाई आपने शरद पवार की बीमारी के बारे में, इलनेस के बारे में ये सब क्यों किया, आपने करप्शन के भी allegations डाले. How do you see this? Is this a free speech debate? Is this a debate around the overreach of the prosecuting agencies? क्या बोलेंगे आप इस?
ये फ्री स्पीच का या इन किसी चीजों का डिबेट नहीं हो सकता है. दिस इज सिंपल थिंग. शी इज अ सॉफ्ट टारगेट. और एक मैसेज देना था, क्योंकि जो महाराष्ट्र में हम अभी जो पॉलिटिक्स देख रहे हैं, जो पॉलिटिकल सिनारियो देख रहे हैं, इसमें ऐसा है कि अगर कोई भी किसी भी लीडर के बारे में कुछ भी बोलोगे आप, तो उसको खींचतानी करके वहीं पे लेके जाओ, उसी एजेंडे पे उसको दबा दो, क्रश करो. जैसे कि निखिल भामरे के केस पे भी हमें देखा जाता है कि उसके अगेंस्ट भी 5 एफआईआर. ये फैशन है कि मतलब 5 एफआईआर 7 एफआईआर, इसके ऊपर तो हाइट कर दी कि 20 एफआईआर 22 एफआईआर, और वो भी ऐसी जगहों से कि जहां से मतलब रिमोट एरियाज में, वहां पे जुरिडिक्शन का इश्यू नहीं आया पुलिस ने पूछा नहीं कि यार ये जुरिडिक्शन है क्या, यहाँ पे क्राइम हुआ है क्या, वो कुछ नहीं पूछा, उन्होंने बस एफआईआर रजिस्टर कर दिया. यहां तक कि कलम्बोडी पुलिस ने भी एफआईआर रजिस्टर कर दिया, जबकि उनके नॉलेज में था कि 14 तारीख को इसको अरेस्ट किया गया है. तो 15 तारीख को कलम्बोडी पुलिस ने फिर से इसके अगेंस्ट एफआईआर रजिस्टर किया, सेम लाइन ऑफ एक्शन पे. तो मतलब ये है कि ये कुछ ऐसा दिखने में आता है कि ये मतलब सिर्फ अपनी पावर दिखाना चाहते हैं कि मतलब हमारे अगर खिलाफ कोई भी कुछ भी लिखेगा, कोई टिप्पणी करेगा, हम जो चाहे बोले. आप अगर कुछ लिखोगे, लेमन हो आप, जनरल पर्सन कोई लिखे, तो उसको प्रेशराइज करने के लिए हम इतने एफआईआर डालेंगे आपके कि आप थक जाओ. मतलब इसमें कोई फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच या इसकी कोई डिबेट की कोई आवश्यकता है ही नहीं. अच्छा, इसमें यहाँ पे नेमिंग था, आप डिसाइड कर रहे हो कि यहाँ पे शरद पवार के बारे में ही लिखा है 80 साल का, पर ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. और सटायर भी नाम की कोई चीज है? Isn't it so?
Of course, I actually think ये जेल में इनको फाइल, मतलब केस, आप सिविल केस फाइल करिए, आप सिविल केस लड़िए. जेल में किसी को डालना is absolutely
Exactly.
a manipulation of the of state power. Ketki, I want to ask you, if you came face to face with Sharad Pawar, जैसे योगेश जी ने कहा कि शरद पवार से पूछा गया, उन्होंने कहा मैं तो जानता नहीं, मुझे तो कुछ पता ही नहीं, मैं तो कंप्लेनेंट नहीं हूँ. I want to ask you, suppose कहीं आप फ्लाइट लेके जा रहे हैं और शरद पवार आपके साथ की सीट पे बैठे हैं, तो आप केतकी जी शरद पवार से क्या बोलेंगे in real life?
I would just tell him that, he has been the CM of Maharashtra twice, and it's not easy to become CM 2 times. So obviously, and I have been following his political career, and his brain is amazing. So I respect his brain. I have always said this. He is exceptionally intelligent person, and I think I would just touch his feet if he allows me to. That is,
You would touch his feet. You're not angry or cynical or bitter about the government that he leads, under which you have been arrested.
the laws are not bad. The people, the rest of the people who interpret it and use it just to, make someone else's life difficult, those people are bad. And I have said this time and again.
So you don't blame Sharad Pawar personally. You're not angry with Sharad Pawar personally.
No, he hasn't filed a case against me. Why would I be angry with him? I'm not even angry with people.
At least it's his government. अगर government last होती है, it's his government. अभी तक तो. योगेश जी, आप
Well, technically,
sorry, Ketki, complete your point.
I was saying I'm not even angry with the people who have filed a complaint against me. I'm not angry. I'm just hurt by the fact and disappointed by the fact that people can just go ahead and do something as pathetically vengeful, as pathetically harassing, the way they have.
Absolutely.
I'm disappointed with that.
Are you scared today, or will you continue to speak your mind freely, Ketki?
I'm not scared at all. Now I'm not scared at all. एक बार फिर दिन देख लिया है, अब क्या इसमें डरना है?
Yes, I think.
Were you scared? Were you scared when you were in the front line? I mean, I'm sure even you must have been the first day.
नहीं, of course everyone has fear, लेकिन ये बात मुझे सही नहीं लगती. I went to cover a war, aware of and cognizant of the dangers. For you to share a Facebook post and have to face prison is not an acceptable response of the state machinery at all. योगेश जी, आपसे पूछूंगी, केतकी तो पवार जी के साथ नाराज नहीं है. Who do you hold responsible for what has happened?
Definitely the people who are governing the police machinery, because DGP, accountable that DGP को हमने नोटिस किया था, इसमें पहले समन किया था कि he must be knowing what is going, what is happening, और कोर्ट में भी ये पॉइंट आउट किया था कि गवर्नमेंट को पता ही नहीं होगा कि ये नीचे क्या चल रहा है. जस्टिस शिंदे, एसएस शिंदे पॉइंटेड आउट दैट कि इतने मल्टीपल एफआईआर सिंगल कॉज ऑफ एक्शन पे हो रहे हैं, तो ये गवर्नमेंट को पता भी है या नहीं है. तो उन्होंने वैसा क्वेश्चन किया था और उन्होंने होम सेक्रेटरी से रिप्लाई भी मांगा था. वी डोंट नो व्हाट रिप्लाई दे हैव फाइल्ड, बट होम सेक्रेटरी से उन्होंने रिप्लाई मांगा था जस्टिस शिंदे ने कि इसमें कि ये इतने मल्टीपल एफआईआर कैसे कर रहे हो, किस तरीके से मेंटेनेबल है, जरा जस्टिफाई कीजिए.
So what is the future course of action? Ketki, what's the first thing you did when you came out of jail?
That's the first thing that I did.
What did you do?
Yeah.
What did you do? What?
I said I was smiling. That's the first thing that I did when I walked out of prison.
Yes, we saw that here in the pictures. You can see it. योगेश जी, ये लड़ाई अभी खत्म नहीं हुई. इस पे आप लास्ट वर्ड क्या बोलेंगे?
अब इसमें इतना कहेंगे कि अभी तो ये शुरू हुई है, क्योंकि 21 एफआईआर पेंडिंग है अभी भी, वो उसका क्रशिंग बाकी है. और इसमें इसका जो कंप्लेन जो फाइल की है केतकी ने, उसको भी जस्टिस मिलना है अभी बाकी, उसमें भी एफआईआर नहीं हुआ है. और बाकी भी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, मतलब जो इरेगुलरिटीज सामने आई है इस केस में रजिस्टर करने में पुलिस मशीनरी द्वारा, उसका भी करेक्शन जरूरी है.
which the court, of course, made the point that procedures were not followed. Thank you so much, Yogesh ji, and thank you so much, Ketaki. I hope that this experience doesn't make you fearful. And as you have said, up to jail dekh liya, aap kya darna? But yes, I think it is an important reminder that sometimes just the process of a complaint can be the punishment. It is harassment. It is an overreach of the state, and we are glad that you are out. Thank you very much, Ketaki Chitale and Yogesh ji, for talking to us. Namaskar. Thank you.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust